This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on The South Today, Dunedin's two Labour members of Parliament received the health and broadcasting portfolios in the new coalition government. Invercargill women bear all tonight for the opening of Repertory Invercargill's new show. And we look at the issue facing Queenstown Shotover Primary School. It has the children in modern buildings, but where are the teachers? Kia ora, good evening, I'm Melissa Barton. Dunedin's two Labour members of Parliament have been allocated the health and broadcasting portfolios in the new coalition government. Prime Minister-elect Jacinda Ardern made the announcement in Parliament this morning.
Prime Minister-elect Jacinda Ardern announced the Labour New Zealand First government's list of ministers and their portfolios at Parliament this morning. Winston Peters will be Deputy Prime Minister as well as Minister of Foreign Affairs, Racing and State-owned Enterprises. Dunedin North MP David Clark has been given the health portfolio, and Dunedin South MP Claire Curran will be the new Minister for Broadcasting, Communications and Digital Media. Curran says she is ecstatic to be in Parliament after a 9-year wait.
After 9 years, it feels bloody fantastic.
Clark says his first priority in Parliament will be a new Dunedin hospital and rebuilding relationships within the health sector.
Dunedin is the last major city in New Zealand to get its hospital rebuilt, and also as a local member I have an interest as well. I'm concerned that my constituents have been putting up with a hospital that is past its use-by date, and I've been very distressed at the lack of progress until now, so I will be making that obviously an urgent priority.
Curran says the change of government will mean a cash injection for New Zealand On Air.
An injection into New Zealand On Air, which funds regional media and new innovative media. So there's a lot, this is day one. There's a lot of discussions to be had, but I think Dunedin people can rest assured that local media, local stories, our local culture around all the different parts of New Zealand is a priority under this new government.
West Coast MP Damien O'Connor takes on a host of new responsibilities as Minister of Agriculture, Biosecurity, Food Safety and Rural Communities. Roselle LeBone, The South Today.
The New Zealand Transport Agency says people should allow extra time for journeys on State Highway 6 between Cromwell and Queenstown as rock stabilisation work at Nevis Bluff gets underway next week. The work is scheduled to take place for 5 weeks from this Monday to Friday, December the 1st, and as part of an ongoing safety and monitoring of the Nevis Bluff. The New Zealand Transport Authority says the 5-week work schedule will involve abseil inspections, rock scaling and blasting to remove loose debris following wild winter weather. The agency advises people build in an extra 10 minutes travel time on their journeys. Invercargill women will be all tonight for the opening of Repertory Invercargill's new show, Calendar Girls. Based on the 2003 film, the stage show tackles some serious topics in a comedic and cheeky way. Sharon Rees has more.
Shaking off some pre-performance nerves is only natural, especially when you're about to go au naturel in front of hundreds of people. These women will hit the stage tonight for the opening of Calendar Girls, a play set to touch on every emotion.
It's got joy and laughter and friendship and also some tears and some poignancy. And it's about real life, it's about real people, struggling with their lives and what happens to them.
The play follows the true story of a group of women experiencing loss through cancer who decide to raise money for charity with a discreetly posed nude calendar. Newell says while the stage show is a comedy, its serious undertones struck a chord with the actors.
Even during rehearsal we've had quite a few tears when some of the chords of the play really hit home, and people have found that, that it resonates really strongly with them because everybody knows someone who has succumbed to cancer.
Lyndall Ludlow, who plays the lead role of Annie, says while posing nude on stage was a scary experience, the show presents it in a tasteful manner.
And I was terrified to start with, but we've all got a little tableau that we put together, and we've done it as sensitively as we can. It's what you don't see. It's, that's that whole kind of subtle, yes, we know they're naked, but we don't see everything. Otherwise, nobody would come.
To accompany the play, the cast also posed for their own fundraising calendar, which doubles as a program for the show, with proceeds going towards the Leukaemia Foundation. Sharon Rees, The South Today.
Reported sightings of one-legged weka in areas of Fiordland National Park have prompted concerns about incorrect and illegal possum trapping. Department of Conservation staff in Te Anau have received several calls from people concerned at seeing one-legged weka hobbling at the Chasm car park on the Milford Road and at the Milford foreshore. Dock Principal Ranger Lindsay Wilson says such injuries are likely to be caused by weka standing in incorrectly placed possum leg hold traps. Wilson says these traps can also injure New Zealand's flightless flagship bird, the kiwi. It has the children, it has the modern buildings, but finding teachers willing to move to Queenstown is a struggle for the rapidly expanding Shotover Primary School. The school has had a fourfold increase in its role in just 2 years, but is struggling to find teachers to meet increasing demands. Mina Amso has more.
This block of land at Shotover Primary School is where its pupils will soon have new teaching spaces for creative arts and robotics. Shotover Primary Principal Ben Whitford says the site is equivalent of 8 teaching spaces.
There's going to be 2 habitats, if you like, which is the equivalent, each habitat's the equivalent of about 4 standard classrooms, and we can have upwards of about 100 children in there with 4 teaching staff.
The new $5 million teaching site is fully funded by the Ministry of Education, which is responsible for its design, planning and building.
It was actually approved before we even opened, so it was approved about 3.5 years ago, and the Ministry knew at some point we'd need more space.
The school opened its doors in 2015 with 88 pupils. It's going to end the year with about 425 on its roll. That's a 4-fold increase in 2 years.
Happened quite fast, that's quite rapid growth. It probably wasn't what we were expecting.
Whitford says further school expansion could be expected in the next 3 years if the current growth rate continues. But he says recruiting teachers has been a struggle.
Teachers are on fixed incomes, so it doesn't matter where they teach in the country, their salary is the same. So the expense of living costs and also housing in the area is really quite a challenge.
He says there's been a lack of political willingness to address the problem. But he hopes the 8 teacher vacancies he's advertising at the moment will be filled before the start of next year's term. The new classrooms will be ready by June 2018, allowing capacity of the school to grow to 650 students. Mina Amso, The South Today.
Still to come on The South Today, further work is underway on the flood-wrecked Sutton Suspension Bridge near Middlemarch, and we catch up with New Zealand's largest travelling event in Dunedin.
For all your news from the southern regions as it happens, go to our Facebook page. The South Today, connecting you with your community thanks to New Zealand On Air.
Don't suffer in silence. Call Sunny Chin, Chi Master Body Technician for structural, muscular, emotional bodywork. Phone 03 4250 606 for all your pain relief.
Circopolis, a crossroads between imagination and reality, limits and possibilities. Don't miss Circopolis, described as Cirque du Soleil's hipper, sexier cousin at the Regent. 12 performing artists combine the worlds of circus, dance and theatre. This is your only chance to see this extraordinary show by Montreal's Cirque Éloise in Dunedin at the Regent, 23rd to 26th of November. Book now at the box office or Ticket Direct.
Hi, Lindsay here from Alex Campbell Menswear. Just think, 80 years ago, this year, my grandfather set up Alex Campbell Menswear right on Cargill's Corner in South Dunedin. We've had some great years bringing Otago and Southland the very best of menswear for both business and everyday needs.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
We're a 25 Moray Place at Dog with Tails Cafe and Bar. So we take coffee very seriously. We do what's called contract roasting, so we're creating our own roasting profile and then doing our own blends. We're really focused on the craft of what we're doing. You know, we're going back, instead of going on mass-produced sort of cheap things, we're taking the time to really craft what we're making. Make it so anyone can come here and have a feed and be able to get something they're able to eat or that they want to eat as well. You're kind of getting a taste of cafes from all around the world when you come here.
University of Otago. Usually the atmosphere is charged with the energy of student life. But this week is the week before exams.
Hey, Tane. Not now, man. I'm panicking. Come on, mate. I know just what you need. In here? No. Is this it? No. This is the place to ease your stress.
Hey, Tane. Fancy a little cuddle?
Garrador Dunedin, delivering quality stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 15 years. New doors, replacement doors, repairs and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team at 553 Kaikoai Valley Road. Visit www.garrador.co.nz or call us on 488 5676.
Welcome back. Further work is underway to clear the flood-wrecked Sutton Suspension Bridge near Middlemarch. The historic 19th century bridge was destroyed during the floods in July. A decision has yet to be made as to whether it can be repaired. The 4 stone columns and steel cables that held the bridge up have already been removed and stored. Yesterday, a bulldozer and 2 diggers had pulled one half of the collapsed bridge deck out of the river. It was hoped the other half would be removed today. New Zealand's largest travelling event, the Extravaganza Fair, parked up in Dunedin over the long weekend. Roselle LeBone caught up on the market stalls, food, musical entertainment and performers.
Every juggler and his dog were out enjoying the sun for the 3rd Extravaganza Fair event on Dunedin's Oval during Labour weekend. Stallholders were peddling their wares and food and entertainment was on offer, along with jewellery, clothing, handcrafts, fortune-telling, haircuts and henna art. The fair has banned plastic bags and plastic straws, relying on only compostable and recyclable packaging, and it is aiming to become carbon neutral by donating to tree planting charities at the end of each season. The event tours the North and South Islands until Easter next year, with the next stop at Invercargill. Roselle LeBone, The South Today.
A Dunedin artist is celebrating turning 50 by hanging an exhibition of 300 works. Covering My Bases spans more than 7 years' work by one artist, who's showing much of this work in public for the first time. Daryl Baser found some familiar faces on the walls.
This image of a piece called Farts Are Funny is one of nearly 300 works by Dunedin artist Sarah Flourish, soon to be on display at Rob Piggott's gallery. Flourish turns 50 soon and thought what better way to celebrate than to have an exhibition of nearly a decade's worth of work.
This collection grew out of a little bit of an opera shop obsession where I started buying baskets probably 10 years ago. I wasn't sure what I was going to use them for initially, but about 7 years ago the purpose became clear, and we now have almost 300 works in this exhibition using the bases from those baskets.
The exhibition was hung this week, and gallery curator Rob Piggott says it makes an impressive and vibrant site.
It's kind of an exploration and a reflection of her whole life, I think. She's not one of those artists who's just gone out trying to paint a certain type of picture that's going to please a certain type of, person. She's just expressed all sorts of things from her life, and the work is just so diverse.
Much of the work tackles tough topics, like life changes, while other works reflect a desire not to take oneself too seriously.
This year in particular, I have done a lot of self-deprecating works with the help of Snapchat filters, which I've really enjoyed. I don't send the photos to anybody, but I take the photos and I use them for my paintings.
Flourish says there's a special feature of the exhibition in which she plans to conquer a fear of needles.
The tattoo artist asked us last week who's going first, and I said it has to be me so I don't chicken out. And I think that there are a number of people who are going to come and watch me go through that process. So it's a little bit exciting. It's another sort of event for people to come and join in on, like the opening, where they can come and have a bit of a buzz with the crowd that's along here.
The tattoo is another part of Flourish's journey, which also included choosing her last name. The exhibition covering my bases opens this Friday at Dunedin's Rob Pickett Gallery. Daryl Baser, The South Today.
Crowds turned up to the Rangiora's showgrounds for the area's annual A&P show on Saturday. The South Today enjoyed an afternoon looking at the livestock, traction engines on display.
This year's A&P show in Rangiora was the 146th one held for the northern area, the first one having been in 1866. Amongst the usual sheep and cattle, pet lambs and calves, plus highland dancing, alpacas, horse events, goats, arts and crafts and vintage machinery, was film star Doug Bain. The poultry judge from the film Pecking Order said he was happy with the way his birds were judged at this year's A&P.
I've got a silky hen, which is different to most. This one has got a beard. A lot of the other ones don't have beards. Last week we had the Leeston show. I got the best light breed at Leeston with a black silky last week. I come here this week and I got the best light breed with a white silky. So I am quite proud.
One of the highlights of the day was Wanaka's award-winning country musician Jody Doreen entertaining the crowds.
If you want to get me hot, take your time.
Rudy Adrian, The South Today.
After the break on The South Today, Queenstown's new Wakatipu High School aims to be completed by Christmas, ready in time for Term 1 2018, and Greymouth School celebrates Grandparents' Day.
Active Furnishers Limited, home of quality service with superior product, and an in-house design team who are always happy to advise and create an imaginative solution for you. Active Furnishers Limited, part of Dunedin's design history.
Oh, help! Don't suffer in silence. Call Sunny Chin, Chi Master Body Technician, for structural, muscular, emotional bodywork. Phone 03 4250 606 for all your pain relief.
From rare to the recent, visit the legendary Hard to Find for your quality second-hand books, with the largest stock in New Zealand and a friendly book-loving atmosphere. For good prices, buying or selling, come visit 20 Dowling Street.
Circopolis, a crossroads between imagination and reality, limits and possibilities. Described as Cirque du Soleil's hipper, sexier cousin, don't miss this extraordinary show. at the Regent, 23rd to 26th November. Book now.
Hi, Lindsay here from Alex Campbell Menswear. Just think, 80 years ago, this year, my grandfather set up Alex Campbell Menswear right on Cargill's Corner in South Dunedin. We've had some great years bringing Otago and Southland the very best of menswear for both business and everyday needs.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
When it's time to say goodbye to your pet, Heaven Sent Pet Cremations are here to help you through this difficult experience. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today for their care and guidance. Phone 489 2274.
Bring some more joy into your world by adopting one of our adult animals at SPCA Otago. Call now on 473 8252. Please adopt a pet now, they will love you forever.
For 3 generations, the Kilpatrick family have ensured Jimmy's pies are still world famous in the South Island. Made to an old family recipe, Jimmy's pies have been one of New Zealand's traditional takeaway foods, prepared daily on the premises alongside a range of savouries, sausage rolls and cakes. Jimmy's pies are distributed throughout the lower South Island. Jimmy's pies are sure to satisfy your travelling munchies.
Thanks for staying with us. Queenstown's new Wakatipu High School at Frankton should be finished by Christmas. Contractors are working 7 days a week to complete the interior of the school, as well as the exterior, the site works and landscaping. Rob Giller, who is the Acting Head of Education Infrastructure Services for the Ministry of Education, says about 220 workers are on site on weekdays and up to 100 at weekends. The new site has to be completed in time for the school to move from its George Road site before the beginning of term 1 next year. It was Grandparents' Day at a school in Greymouth last Friday as the young pupils took the time to display their work and art to their nanas and granddads. The South Today sent a camera crew over to take a look.
Grandparents' Day is an annual event at Greymouth's Greymain School, and it has proven to be very popular with everyone, according to school principal Mandy O'Sullivan.
At Greymain School every year, the Friday before Labour weekend, we celebrate our grandparents. We invite them into the school, and it's a time for our children to tell their grandparents how much they value them, and for us to give them the message that grandparents do play a huge role in the lives of our young people. So it's a celebrationary day, really.
O'Sullivan says school is a bit different compared to when the grandparents were pupils.
And our grandparents love the fact that school has changed so much, not like the day when they were there, especially in the digital classes where children are working on their devices and are able to show their grandparents, and also give the grandparents the opportunity now that the grandparents can go into their learning sites and have a look at what they're doing on a daily basis. So that's fantastic.
Both Barry Sweetman and his granddaughter Mackenzie have been learning heaps.
I've learned how to make a monster, how to colour in neatly, and just a few other small little activities. See how the kids operate. Thoroughly enjoyable.
We've been making monsters, and we've been doing some Grandparents' Day stuff.
Rudy Adrian, The South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on The South Today. Southern MPs have received top-flight portfolios from Prime Minister-elect Jacinda Ardern. An incoming health minister says the hospital rebuild is a priority. Women will bear all tonight at Repertory Invercargill's new show, Calendar Girls, based on the 2003 film. The stage show tackles some serious topics. And Shotover School has had a fourfold increase in its role in 2 years and is struggling to find teachers to meet increasing demands. And now look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. Welcome, Craig Page. What have you got for us today?
Good evening. Well, we're out on the red carpet in Dunedin tonight with Kaikorai School for the premiere of a movie which is being made by the pupils about life at the school. They spent quite a bit of the year putting the movie together, and by all accounts, it's quite a good movie to watch. It's been shown at the Regent tonight, and it's got the whole pomp and ceremony to go with it, red carpet, and they're arriving in limousines and with parents as well. So we'll be along there with lots of photos, and have plenty of coverage tomorrow on it. So nice wee story.
So it's a real star treatment. It's fantastic.
It certainly is. And we've spoken to some Queenstown business owners who are waiting anxiously for the government to flesh out its plans for slashing immigration numbers. Both Labour and New Zealand First, of course, quite hot on that subject. But towns like Queenstown rely heavily on foreigners to fill a lot of the jobs up there, in the service and tourism industries. So they've got some real concerns. The Chamber of Commerce President Richard Thomas is saying the resort would be crippled if full immigration went ahead. He's hoping that they can come to some sort of regional approach to their policy and sort of give towns like Queenstown a bit more leeway in that respect. So it'll be interesting to see once that policy does come out.
Definitely be one to watch.
It will. And in our arts pages we catch up with Korean-born pianist Joyce Yang, who's going to be performing with the New Zealand Symphony Orchestra next week in Dunedin. She's born in South Korea and started playing piano at the age of 4, now lives in the US. But she's so talented, she spends most of her time travelling the world, so she'll be worth going home a look next week.
Oh, fantastic. Lovely. Thanks for that, Craig. And now for a time and a look at tomorrow's weather.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by Silverhorn Collagen Plus.
Starting with today's southern view taken of the rain at the intersection of Cumberland and Albany Street. Looking at the situation, an anticyclone will bring fine weather tomorrow and Friday, and from the weekend a mild and northerly airflow will warm things up nicely. To the southern outlook, Balclutha, Catlins, Gore and Lumsden all have light southwesterly, some cloud and 14 degrees. To the central outlook, Alexandra and Wanaka, you have light winds, fine and 15 degrees. Queenstown and Tiana, light southwesterly, some cloud and 14 degrees for both of you. To the northern outlook, Oamaru and Timaru, afternoon easterlies, fine and 14 degrees. Amarama and Twizel, light winds, fine and 15 degrees. Here in Dunedin tonight, cloud breaking with southwesterlies becoming light with an overnight low of 7 degrees. Tomorrow, some cloud but sunny periods increasing with a breezy cool southwesterly winds and 14 and 5 degrees. And sunny periods and scattered cloud on Friday with light easterly winds 15 and 3. And in Invercargill tonight becoming fine with light southwesterlies with an overnight low of 7 degrees. Tomorrow mostly cloudy with light southwesterlies, cool temperatures 14 and 3 degrees, and mostly fine and sunny on Friday with light winds and 15 and 4 degrees. And that's our news for this Wednesday. For the latest news from the South Today team, you can follow us on Facebook and at channel39.co.nz. I hope you all have a great evening. Take care. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.